Hello, hello, welcome to the stream, everyone. How you guys doing today? I'm a minute late. I ran into a small issue there, where the cap card audio was being funky. How you guys doing today? Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get this underway. Hopefully, it really isn't hopefully, we will get to 750 tonight. That seemed to be the pattern, and it's been pretty consistent. Yo, Vanillix JT, how you guys doing? Hope you guys had a good Thursday. Ready for Friday, and then it's the weekend. We beat Jaden. Well, Jaden's not here, so yeah. Alright, I gotta... It's really convenient that, like, my stream deck lets me do all of my stream stuff on it, but it's, like, 100% based off of what window I'm clicked on, what profile it gives me, and... like, I don't think I can tell it, like, hey, if I'm in the YouTube live streaming window, don't change for my OBS stuff. I might be able to. I haven't looked into it that much. You're too slow now, man. You're still second. Still on the podium. We're waiting for the final podium person, but... you on the podium? Heck with 2 C's. The more intense heck. How you guys been, though? It's good to see you. It's been a few days. I meant to stream yesterday. Fortunately, I didn't. we would have been caught up right in the middle of all that YouTube outage stuff if I had streamed yesterday. Totally unintentional. Meant to schedule one. Because, yeah, we streamed Monday. Tuesday was a mixture of, I do Dungeons and Dragons with friends, and then I had to hop in on, like, a late night deployment. So I literally went, like, I got off work, and I was going, I think I went to the grocery store, or was that yesterday? Time's weird. No, it was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday I went to the grocery store. Came back, did D&D with friends, and then I had like 30-ish minutes or something like that before I had to hop on for a deployment. And then that went to midnight. Dream, welcome to the stream. Pika-san, welcome as well. YouTube went down. Yeah, so like, I had no time Tuesday, so I was like, alright, I'll do a Wednesday stream. Like, I usually don't stream on Tuesdays anyways. I was like, maybe I'll do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing or something. And then, to be completely honest, the only reason I didn't stream is I forgot to schedule it for yesterday. Like, Mel texted me like, oh, have you streamed? And I'm like, you're not streaming today? I was like, oh, I guess I'm not. And then, you know, like, 30 minutes later, YouTube was down. Thought it was only you that had that problem. I was having a weird thing where I was listening to like some music in YouTube on a different tab, and when I hovered over the tab, it was like incognito, you know, just like the thing where it's like I'm clicking on these links and like I don't want them to affect the rest of my watch history and my recommended. So it's like I generally don't like clicking on a lot of music stuff on YouTube, especially music I'm not subscribed to, just because it's like I don't want my whole YouTube homepage to be filled with just, like, recommended mixes that I'm never going to click on, like, just the pre-built music playlists. It's like, alright, I'll go to Spotify for that. So a lot of music stuff I'll leave in incognito, and, like, I was hovering over that window, and it was blank. It was playing, but it was blank until I clicked on it, and then it showed the video. I don't know if that was part of it, or if that's an actual incognito feature, but I was like, huh, interesting. And then my friends mentioned YouTube being completely screwed up, and I was like, aha. Because as soon as I tried to click on another video, I think I tried to go into Rainbow's stream. I tried to go into Rainbow's stream for a few minutes, and, like, it was gone. The chat was there, the chat was working, and I was like, oh well. Went to, like, Twitter for a few minutes, saw people posting that YouTube was down, went back to YouTube, none of the page loaded at all, and then it started throwing the playback errors. I feel bad for whatever, like, devs and DBAs had to fix that, though. I've been in that situation of just the production site completely dying on you, and it is horrifying. And like our sites aren't even like a YouTube. Like it's only used by the company, and that's also terrifying. When you get home, you're heading home from college. Your PS5 is waiting for you. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, this week's been the big week for all the consoles. Just watching a video and it randomly wouldn't load. Yeah, so it seems like if you were in something, if you're like in a stream, it was working. So it's something in their networking failed, it seems. Like the actual video playback servers seem to be fine. It's just all the, you know, when you go to youtube.com, you're hitting one of like 1,000 servers or something like that. You're hitting all these different places. And then when, you know, you say you want to watch my stream, it points you to a server that I'm uploading to, and you can keep a connection that way. So if you're in a stream, it worked, but the recommended on the side, the comments, all that was busted. The new Spider-Man's cool. It kept saying PBJ reload on the link. Oh, is that like the problem code for it? Yeah, it seems like the new Spider-Man game looks cool. I didn't play the PS4 Spider-Man game because I don't have a PS4, but it looks good. It seems like they've done good with it. So it seems like the Miles Morales game would be pretty good. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's always the superhero movies that have problems, but like the video games as well, like, you know, it's always 50-50 whether or not you're going to end up in a situation where like the name was just licensed out to a company that reskinned it or something like that, like reskinned some other, you know, not AAA game or anything, and then it's AAA prices because, oh, it's insert franchise on the front. But I mean, I guess it helps when Sony owns PlayStation and Spider-Man, so like the parent company will be very upset if either go wrong with that. And then you have Xbox, which is kind of screwed. They were hoping Infinite would be their big selling game, and then Halo Infinite got delayed because everyone was laughing so hard at that reveal trailer. Which it rightfully deserved to be laughed at. Can't wait to play it. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I'll end up getting one. I don't have a need to. Like, I don't have a particular need to play one. Like, I think I've talked about this before. If I was to get one, I'd get a PlayStation because I can play all the Xbox games I care about on my PC. But even then, the biggest draw of the PlayStation would be the Blu-ray player for the one Blu-ray disc I own. Like, I don't have much of a need to get it. I think even a lot of the exclusives that were on PlayStation were like limited exclusives, and then they were coming to PC and Switch and stuff. So I was like, well, I'll just do that. So I don't have a particular need to. I think they both look cool. They both have very different designs, and honestly, like, this generation of consoles totally killed the whole concept of, oh, just build a PC for cheaper and it'll be more powerful. That used to be the case. That, like, even, you know, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, like, you could build a very, very capable PC for that price. You can still build a very capable PC for that price. It's just, this is very much, it's always been the case that consoles are sold at a complete loss in hopes that you buy a game or subscribe to, you know, Game Pass or PlayStation's equivalent. So, like, it's not surprising that they're able to do this, but, like, the performance they get almost undercuts the cost of a GPU to get that performance without considering the rest of the computer. It's crazy. Like, this is, like, I'm very much a PC guy. That's my thing. I can do all the games I want to play and all the things that aren't games that I want to do on my PC. Like, that's how it is. But even I'm like, yeah, like there's very few reasons like to go, like there's a lot of reasons to go PC over consoles, but like this generation isn't it's better and more cost effective to go PC. The consoles like knocked it out of the park this time. You want the fridge? Honestly, that design's kind of neat. Oh yeah, they did make a fridge, didn't they? I love it when companies embrace the meme like that. Like taking it to taking that extra step of not just laughing about it as well, but like going in on it, even if it's a joke product. You sell like 2 up. Because let's be real, they've made all the Xbox Series X fridges they'd ever make. See the thing about the Series X smoking up? The thing where Xbox had to ask, please stop vaping into our console? Which is going to be a nightmare when someone RMAs it anyway, and some poor employee has to take apart this super sticky Xbox and go, this was vaped in, which is... How 2020 of a concern is that like, as some like refurbishing employee, you have to deal with just vape juice in a console. Can't stand Xbox. You made a mistake when you got one. Which one did you get? For me, I was always an Xbox kid. It was just... Realistically, it's because my dad wanted an Xbox. He wanted to be able to play Midtown Madness 3, which was an Xbox exclusive. So he got that. I wanted a GameCube because it had Star Fox, and I saw a really cool Star Fox display at like a Costco or something. That's my entire reasoning behind that. I wanted a GameCube. And we got an Xbox, and I was able to get Crash Bandicoot on it, and I was totally happy. But yeah, that's why we got an Xbox, and then I got a 360 because... I played Halo 3 at a friend's house and was like, oh, this is so much fun, and wanted to play it, so I got a 360. And I never got a 1 or a PS4. Like, I just never... Like, at that point, I was like, I wasn't playing games that hardcore anymore. Like, I wasn't playing them enough, and I think what had done it for me with that was, at the time, I'd only had my Xbox for, like, a couple years. Like, I bought my refurbished, original design Xbox after the Slim was out. Like, well after the Slim was out. I was like... I found a deal with like a refurbished one through like Walmart's website of all places too. And so I got that and I was like perfectly content with that. Played COD 4 well after like Black Ops was out. Like I was behind the times with the video games, but I was totally happy with it. Being completely oblivious to all the new stuff makes the old stuff so much more fun. So I did that until I got Halo 3 used, and I got Reach and played Reach until we got Halo 4. I had Halo 4 release night. I think that's the only... I was going to say that's the only game I've stood outside of release night for, but Pokemon exists. So I got Halo 4. That was the first time I ever did a midnight release. And then I played Minecraft with friends on Xbox a lot. Like, I had it on PC, but, like, my PC was a laptop with no graphics in it. Like, it was not a gaming laptop. It was a... I can do internet, and I can do, like, Word and some basic programs. Perfectly fine for me in high school. But, you know... So, like... I got Minecraft on Xbox, played with friends, and the reason I ended up not getting a 1, I think, was when one of the guys in the group was like, why haven't we moved to the Xbox One Minecraft yet? Like, it's only a $5 upgrade, and I'm sitting here like, dude, I gotta pay $500 for a console, and then $5 more, then it's a $5 upgrade, but like, nah. So I think at that point I was totally fine just playing, like, GTAV in offline mode and stuff. Saw a picture of the PS5 controller and Series X controller next to each other, and they actually look to be a similar size. Really? Okay, so we know what size an Xbox Series X controller is, because it's literally just an Xbox One controller, but with an extra button in the middle and a circular D-pad and clickier buttons. But physically, they're the same shape. I think in the same way that Sony had realized the DualShock was like gold, like, you know. I wanted to say gold in a bottle, but that's not what it... Lightning in a bottle. Like, lightning in a bottle. For so many years, and it worked great. Especially when, like, for the most part, they're just kind of looking at the Japanese market, and the Japanese demographic is fine with smaller controllers. Yeah, I think Xbox has realized they've hit that. They kind of hit that with the Xbox One controller. There were a lot of people who were like, oh, no, the 360 is better. And then almost every single one of them that I know that said the 360 controller was better finally got an Xbox One controller and went, oh, yeah, no, this is way better. So, okay, so the DualSense is comparable to the Xbox controller. Okay, that makes it a little bit better. My biggest concern, just looking at the pictures that had been, Mel, you know, was that it was going to be top-heavy. Just from the look of it, like, because it's shaped differently. Like, the Xbox controller definitely, like, tapers more. Like, holding them up, like the Xbox controller tapers way more than the Pro controller does. Even I'm trying to get them like framed in camera properly. It looks like the DualSense. It looked like the DualSense didn't, and that it was really like if you did this, it would just like flop out that way. So, okay, so they're the same size and they're pretty big. And I've also seen that inside the DualSense, it's got like beefy haptic motors, so it's not falling out of your hands anyway. Brother won a PS3 in a raffle, and he's like 6, even a PlayStation family. Everyone has their reasons. Yeah, at this point, I feel like Microsoft and Xbox, just in general, have kind of realized like there's no need to go for the console. They own Windows, they own Xbox. Why not integrate them and sell their games on more platforms? So they've done that. Except when some games still only work on Xbox. Crash 4, I'm looking at you. I want to play Crash 4. It's about time so badly. I legit almost like considered picking up a 1S and downloading just Crash 4 to it. Like, I don't need it to play anything else. I literally only wanted it to play Crash 4. That's all I wanted. That's all I still want. But Toys for Bob, I don't know if it's Toys for Bob was the deal or Activision. Whoever has the deal, the PC games go to Switch, which is fine. I prefer most of my games on Switch. My PC game on Steam, I mean. It goes on Steam, so I prefer most of my PC games on Steam anyways. But, like, so many games have crossplay on the Microsoft Store. I have Forza Horizon 4 on my PC. I have, like, the Xbox-compatible Minecraft on my PC. Like, let me play Crash on my PC, please. DualSense looks so cool. Apparently got a really cool texture. Everything... Sony put so much attention to detail into that. Every, like, white surface on all of the PlayStation 5 products has like that texture that is that's made up of mini little X's, circles, squares, and triangles. Like, that's neat. That's the attention to detail I can really get behind. The one is trash. Like the Xbox One controller. Really love the DualShock controllers, but your hands are teeny. Yeah, like they work for you, and they work for most of Japan. It's just I think they've kind of, I don't know if it's something that they said, we're done with catering to Japan, which I think would be crazy if they said that they're Sony. But it is very interesting that they made the controller a lot bigger. DualShock's really nice, especially the DualShock 4. I haven't really used PlayStation controllers too much. I don't have one. Like, I have a PS2 that I've hooked up for like a total of 30 minutes that I just received. And it didn't even have a stock controller. It has like a Logitech controller. Yo, Alan, welcome to the stream, man. How you feeling, buddy? How you feeling? Sorry to hear you're gonna have to do like the full 14-day lock-in thing, man. Hope you feel better. Hope you're not feeling too bad right now, though, man. As well. DualShock 4 is fantastic. Favorite controller. Yeah, I mean, they definitely seem to realize they needed to change the controller up with the DualShock 4. Like, pretty much before that, it was literally all the same controller bodies. Like, I don't think they changed their molds they used from the DualShock original all the way through the DS3 and 6-axis. You feel real bad, man? Dude, I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, man, hopefully you're able to kick it quickly. Still want to show your support. Dude, I appreciate it. And hey, man, if you just need a place to come and chill out, always welcome here, man. Discord as well, dude. Because seriously, hoping for you to feel better. Horizon 4, like Forza Horizon 4, it looks really nice. I bought it solely because I have a bunch of racing games on my computer already. I have racing games I haven't even played on my computer. There was like a Humble Bundle that was just racing games. I got all those. I got Horizon 4, and I also got Need for Speed Heat, solely to have a couple racing games that were just, I want to pick up a controller and screw around. I don't want to set up my racing wheel. I don't want to put VR on. I don't want to have to deal with shifting. Like, it's just like, I just want a game where I hit the gas, turn the car, and slam the brakes. Like, give me the option to be a little bit more sim racing with it. Something like Horizon 4, where it's very much a simcade, but it's like, and leans on the arcade side, but like racing lines matter. It's not Need for Speed. It's not double tap gas to drift or something like that. It's nice to have one of those games, so that's why I got a That's what I got Horizon 4 for. It was on sale as well. Oh, the Lego DLC. Yeah, that was part of why I ended up getting that over Horizon 3. You watch the video in the morning. Hope you get the Regidrago. Good luck. All right, thank you, Alan. Get some rest, man. Feel better. Feel better, man. He got the Rona, Mel. It's rip. Man, remember when we all thought that this was gonna like go away by the end of like April? Those are different times. Yeah, it's the Lego DLC. Was like, yo, that's it. I thought it was really cool because I didn't have any kind of interest in that in Forza at that point, like at least in like Horizon 4 specifically. So for me, it was like, oh, that's cool. They did a thing. They did Lego, haha. But I know a lot of people were very upset by that. They're like, oh, it's just a stupid Lego DLC. I wanted like more cars or like a better map because I think like the Lego map's actually kind of the best map in there, but in general, I think people were very disappointed by the Lego DLC, and that was like the biggest. I think the problem was that was the biggest thing that Microsoft announced at E3 that year. Like everyone wanted the next Motorsports or something. Like Forza just like Lego, and that was it. It's like we announced some DLC for a game. I thought it was neat because I like Lego, and again, didn't have any kind of dog in that fight. Horizon 4 is really good. Yeah, it's been fun. I think it's one of those things where I've kind of hit the point with it where it's like I just get in and I'll drive around for a little bit, maybe complete like one event, and then put it down for another few weeks, and then I'll pick it back up for like another 45 minutes or something. Again, that's what I bought it for. That was the whole point. Was I just wanted something that I could sit down, play for a little bit, blow off some steam, relax, and put it back away. You got a Super Mario paint job on your Horizon 4 car? Nice. Yeah, I guess because like they recommend like user created paint jobs in the like in the shop when you're buying the car. Like it's like, oh, do you just want to go ahead and put this on? And I'm like, that's really risky of you guys, because from some of the ones they recommended to me, I could tell that it was just kind of like it was like an algorithm doing it. It wasn't like curated or anything. I'm like, wow, some of these are not the things that you would really usually put as like recommended content from the developers. Like some of the stuff was really neat. Like there were some really detailed ones that popped up, but like, man, I haven't looked at the actual like decal editor though. I imagine it's way more advanced than the one that I'm used to, because the only Forza Horizon 4 is the second Forza I've owned, and before that it was Motorsports 3. So like a very large difference in like the complexity and sophistication of the UI and detailing and stuff in games. Like customization's come a long way since then. Way lower limit on the number of like shapes you can use. There are definitely some weird ones. Sweating and wondering why it's so warm in your room, and then you realize your heater's plugged in. That'll do it. It's getting to the point where I keep wanting to switch the heat on in my apartment, but then it gets warm again, and then even when it is cold, like when it's noticeably cold outside, like getting down like very cold, like, hey, usually apartments would be telling us freeze warnings and stuff. Because I'm in a courtyard, like my apartment still kicks the AC on. For one, my computer's running. At this point, like 3 computers are just idling in my apartment. The one sitting on the table over there, I still haven't put it back in the case. It's just been sitting there for like 2 weeks now. One of my desk and then my work laptop are all just like kind of going along. The TV's on. That TV's super inefficient with heat. So like the AC is still kicking on, like set to 72, and it's like 50 degrees outside, and it's like, this doesn't feel like it should be happening. But then mix that with like my apartment doesn't really face outside, it just faces other windows from other apartments, and I'm surrounded on every side by other people who might be running their heater. Like I could probably leave my AC on at 72 and it'll still be kicking on in like middle of January. Recommended from developers. I mean, not from the devs, but like when you advertise this as kind of like the, hey, do you want to put this in? Like they're relying on not really like they have a lot of trust in some kind of censoring system if they just have an algorithm putting out like recommendations. Forza Horizon's an E game with like the asterisk of online interactions are not rated by the ESRB. And technically, someone else created that. It's an online interaction. Technically, the game's always online multiplayer, which I really dislike. And sometimes it's like, oh no, you lost connection. Do you want to reconnect? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And they're like, are you sure, man? We can try. And I'm like, nah. It's like, I just want everything around me to be NPCs and AI, like the drivatars and stuff. Like, I don't need, it's like, I don't need a whole bunch of other people driving around the overworld. Like, that's just such a weird, superfluous thing to me. Like, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting old, I guess. It's like, no, I don't. It's like, I just want it to be single player, man. Like, I just want the overworld to be single player and goof around. Horizon 4's online's fun, but man, I haven't done the online. Horizon's not really a game I do online with. Like I said, it's like, it's something I just want to sit down, goof around for a few minutes, and put away. Like, I abuse the crud out of the rewind feature in it. Like, that's what I do. It's like, no, I'm just gonna. It's like, I'll kind of be going. I'm just gonna yeet into this turn and see if I bounce off the car and keep going. Like, obviously horrific and unsportsman in any online thing, but screw it, it's an AI. Like, that's what I use it for. Like, if I wanted to do actual racing against actual people in any kind of competitive way, which is the only way I'd really want to do it that isn't just friends, I would boot up like Assetto Corsa or F1 or something and do that with a wheel and pedals and potentially VR. Like, that's what I would do. But if I'm sitting here with an Xbox controller lounging in my chair, nah. No, I'm just gonna go race against AI and bully them into the wall. I'm like the only Poketuber who likes racing. Racing is so much fun. Yeah, we're finally getting a race this weekend. It's last weekend was like really weird in that like usually I have various events to watch on Saturday and Sunday, but it was a bye week for football that I watch, and it was a bye week for F1, so like I had nothing, and really should have looked into IMSA or something. Is IMSA still going? I don't know. I had to find another racing series to turn on. But F1, we're doing Turkey this weekend. I'm excited. First time I'll have watched anything at Turkey. And it's good because a football game I wanted to watch is canceled or postponed, so it won't happen this weekend. So at least I get something on Sunday morning. People just keep ramming every time you're just casually driving around. I mean, like, they can't do that in the overworld, though. Like, that was one thing I did notice, is, like, why are all these, like... Because when you're doing the initial tutorial, they're all drivatars. That or I just didn't have, like, the right internet connection or something. So, like, when you're in the overworld, there's nothing, like... For a while, like, the drivatars and stuff were reversing when I rewound, and I could crash into them and stuff. And then suddenly, like, I did a race, and I guess I finished the tutorial, and suddenly it was normal, like, outside again, or suddenly was, like, normal in the overworld. And, excuse me. And, like, suddenly all the other cars I saw on the map were ghosts. I'm like, what the heck? And then it turns out it's because it's online. So like at least they made it where like if you're just trying to mind your own business, like you can't get wrecked or anything. I wish I would play some more like Assetto Corsa and stuff, some like actual sim racing. It's been a while. I played a couple rounds of the campaign for F1 2019 recently, but like even that was kind of a burden to set up, and I was just kind of ready to finish up and put it back away. Cause I don't know, it's like I need to find something, some cheap little stand to hook my wheel and pedals to. Just so I can, like, move it out of the way more gracefully, because right now it's like I pull it out, I clamp it to my desk, get everything going with that, and then get the pedals aligned, get it plugged in, get it all booted up. untangle it from like my VR headset and stuff in the corner. Like my headset sits up here, but the cable like coils around the pedals and around the power cord and stuff, and it's a pain. So like I need just like a little stand. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Like I'm using this chair. I already kind of have a bucket seat. Like as much as gaming chairs are, always poo-pooed on because they're gaming chairs and there's no need for it to be a gaming chair. It's like it's a bucket seat. It's nice in a racing game to feel like I'm in a bucket seat. It's like I don't need like a full-blown sim rig setup. It's like I got a wheel, I got pedals, just let me mount them to something that I can move. Let's get those old cars like the Supra, the Skyline, because you love Need for Speed. Heck yeah, dude. Giver of Beans, thank you for the sub. Need for Speed, so much fun. Need for Speed Underground 2 is the best Need for Speed game, and no one can tell me otherwise. That one is so much fun. It was like the precursor to what Forza Horizon is, and it's the best. It's all that early 2000s styling. Like, I mean, like there's no penalty for having these massive, like 22-inch chrome spinner rims with rubber bands for tires. Like it doesn't do jack to your performance. It's like, no, I'm gonna cruise around and like I'm gonna burn all my NOS just like spraying it out the hood because I can. And this is like 2002. Giver Beans, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? You like Need for Speed Unwanted? I played a little bit of that. I didn't play a whole lot. At least the old one. Is there a new one? I don't know. The only Need for Speed games I own are like Heat and Underground 2. But like I played other Need for Speeds, but like Underground 2 is where it's at. Like it was different. Like it's not the traditional Need for Speed, but it didn't need to be. It's fantastic is what it is. I loved the heck out of that game. Weirdly, like my favorite car in that was like the Hyundai Tiburon. It was like the crummiest car. Like looking back at it now, I was like, what was I thinking? Like that game had Mark IV Supras, RX-7, FD RX-7s, like Evos, Imprezas, like WRXs. Like the game had everything, and I'm like, Tiburon. Like the car that has aged the worst out of all those cars in the game was just by far my favorite for who knows what reason. That game had so many like ridiculous like you have this whole racing game and like there's drifting challenges, drag challenges, you're building these low riding street cars that you'd see like at auto salons and stuff, and like you could build an H2. You could drop an H2, just dump it on the ground. That game inspired so many car enthusiasts, I guarantee it. Galena, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Is the new Need for Speed good? Is that one Heat? If it's Heat, then it's okay. That's the one I own on Steam. It's okay. It very much has the... This is one of those things where I will admit to being a little bit PC, like, PC's better and stuff. It's like, you can tell the game's a console game. It's very restrictive in how it works, and like it only works with controller and stuff like that. And overall, it's not bad. I've enjoyed the little bit that I've played. I need to play more. I need to get back into it and play some more, because it was fun when I played it. I think the problem was just it was a little bit bulky to get running, especially initially. Like that was the game I had hooked up over Steam Link and would play on my TV. It's very much at home doing that. The one that came out in 2015, just called Need for Speed. That one got like crapped on so hard. If that's what I'm thinking it is, that one got crapped on so hard. That or Rivals. One of the games from back then, Total Biscuit, like ripped into because it was terribly designed. Like one of the biggest problems in PC gaming is the ports from console that you can tell they never intended to actually port it from console. Because the physics were locked to the frame rate, and like it was locked to a 30 FPS frame rate, which in 2015 was reasonable for a console, but it was not reasonable for a PC. Like if your game couldn't run properly at 60 FPS, why are you making it for PC? Like that's where it was at then, and like consoles caught up like in 2017ish, I think, whenever the PS4 Pro and One X released. I keep getting One X and Series X confused. Xbox, for as good of consoles as Xbox can make, they gotta get better naming people. Doing cross street races in Underground 2 with Japanese cars. Like the Evo is the best. Dude, my favorite thing in Underground 2 was the drift racing. That was where I got into drifting. I ended up getting back into it with with Forza 3. Like Motorsport 3. Because you could actually like... Because that was more of a sim game, still simcade, but like as sim as you can really go with a controller and expect it to work. And oh, it was so much fun to learn how to drift in that game. Taking it to Fuji, I think it was. I don't think they called it Fuji, but they wanted to. Whatever the like Tokay track was in Motorsport 3, drifting that perfectly was like the ultimate goal. I think there was like a challenge to get like 250,000 drift points in a lap or something, and that was the track to do it on. Yeah, Heat's the newest one. It's decent. I own it. I've played a little bit of it. It looks really pretty. That's kind of why I bought it. It's like I recognize that most of the games I play are like older games or games that are designed to be like a certain level of like to play a certain way, not look a certain way. So every once in a while I will buy a game that's just like purely like, this looks really nice. Heat was that game at that time. I think it was during the summer sale. It's like I picked it up and it was fun. Yeah, I think that might have been like the one game I picked up during summer sale, is what it is. It looks really pretty. It sounds really nice. The concept is really cool. I like the concept of it. It feels a bit more like an Underground in its open worldness. I think it's a worthwhile game to play. None of the other Need for Speed games compared to Underground 1 and 2. It feels like Heat's is close to being a 3. Didn't we get a new Underground? Did they make a new Underground, or did that end up becoming Heat? I forget what it is. I remember seeing announcement trailers for it, and then I heard nothing else about it, because everyone was excited it was an Underground 3. Yes. And then I heard nothing after that. It looked really nice, because it was like next gen and everything, and then heard nothing about it. Op9, welcome to the stream. Can you get Regidrago shiny? You thought Drago and Eliki couldn't be gotten shiny. Yeah, they can be shiny. I think the current debate is whether or not the shiny charm affects it. Just from people's like experiences, like all the streamers and stuff, like no one's actually gotten it under shiny charm odds. So it's like either the entire PokeTuber community is extremely unlucky, and it's 100% possible that that's the case, or it's just not actually possible to get, or like the shiny charm doesn't affect it. But people have gotten it. It's possible. So yeah, it's not locked or anything. None of the Regis are locked. The Galarian birds are locked, unfortunately. And Cosmog's locked. I think Underground turned into Heat. If it did, then that makes sense. This is absolutely not in name, but is a spiritual successor to Underground. It's got the same kind of, you can customize it, you can drop it, you can replace lip kits, you can do all the stuff you'd have done in Underground. It's just now I actually understand what the heck it does. Because like I liked the cars and they looked cool when I was in like elementary school, but like I had no clue what I was actually doing. I had no clue what any of it meant. But I've got a 240 right now, and this is like the first car I got. Because basically, like, do you want to be like American Muscle or do you want to do JDM? And of course, I picked JDM. I'm 23. Like I picked JDM. That's just. I'm 23 and didn't grow up going to like dirt tracks and drag strips. Like, the cars I am into are JDM, and it is because of Underground 2. It's because of Initial D. It's because of just... I'm 23. That's the kind of cars I got into. In 2015 has live action? Oh, that's awful. That's terrible. I don't know, and I feel like it's a trend that came and went. Because I feel like I've seen other things in that similar circumstance where it's like the cutscenes are dramatically different in style, or like, yeah, they're like live action compared to the game. It's like, nah, just render it in game or render it in engine. You can render it a little nicer, sure, do that. That's fine. Render it at ultra settings, like do that. That's cool. But just do that. Don't. And like, you know, you can get fancy with your camera work and stuff, but like you don't just change the art style that pulls you out of it. It's one thing I found funny, and I think I've mentioned this before, was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I could tell it went into a cutscenes because it got worse. The game dropped to 30 and it dropped to like medium settings. Yo, Juan, welcome to the stream, man. Dropping in with a splash. Hello, you beautiful people, and itchy nose. Hello, Juan, hello. Yep, the nose is itchy. We're not even an hour in and it's itchy. But how you doing, Juan? How you doing today? Very poorly acted, rip. Dono hype indeed, man. When you said live action, you immediately got reminded of Need for Speed Carbon. Joke of a game. I think I wanted Carbon because it was the newest one when like I had like my 360 or something. I was like, oh, that's gonna be cool, and I never got it, and thank God I didn't. Like, it's just one of those, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a situation I ended up in a lot as a kid. It was like, oh, I want this game, I want this game, I want this game, and then it was trash, but like, oh, it was the newest one, so I wanted it because I had no frame of reference for like what a good game should be. Like, I was never really critical of stuff as a kid. I was just like, it's new, I can play it, yes, which is half the reason a lot of games exist. Talking about Need for Speed in general. J-Teen brought up Carbon, which I haven't played. I can't go into it. I know it was bad, but I can't like rip into it. I think yeah, Need for Speed's tried a few things, and I think they've realized that Underground really is kind of like the best form of that. Like, let me explore the city and roam around however I want to. That's like extra fun. Like, I remember like years after I played Underground, I pulled my old Xbox out, plugged it in, and just found like a dumb little city block somewhere on the map that I found like a hill that turned right down into a perfect like right-hander you could drift through, and I just set up my own drift course on it and played it for hours. Like, legitimate hours. I just like took a car, modified it to what I wanted that was like drifty, and then just tried to hit this turn over and over and over again. Like, I was like, all right, I can, if I do it just right, I can tap the inside of this like turn and get my car between a giant retention wall and like a lamppost. Like, it was just perfect for the car. I was like, I can do this. I spent hours doing it. Like, that was some of the most fun I've had in a racing game. It was like, that's why I got like Horizon and why I got Heat. It was just like, give me something that is that kind of stupid, mindless fun, like where I don't have to be worried about hitting that apex perfectly unless I'm just trying to like drift it through something stupid like that. Like, I don't need to be concerned about body damage. I don't need to be concerned about engine wear. Nothing. Just let me slam it through a corner sideways. Like, I just wanted a game that was able to do that and be like pleasing on the eyes. What game have you bought and just immediately regretted? Either because it didn't live up to the hype or it was a crap game. Call of Duty Ghosts. Y'all. The only Call of Duty game I have ever pre-ordered was Call of Duty Ghosts. Anyone that plays Call of Duty knows how burned I got. I like played COD 4, then I played, I want to say after that I ended up going from COD 4 to MW3, then Black Ops, then Modern Warfare 2, and then like just stuck with Modern Warfare 3 at that point because it was still kind of the newest one. It's a whole weird order of how I got the games, but like MW3 was coming out like right after I got my console, and like I got COD 4 when I got my Xbox like that day, so I had something to play. So like my Call of Duty experience was really jumbled up. I wasn't a big fan of Black Ops. Like, it just was like blasphemy. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Black Ops 1. Multiplayer wise, it didn't feel right for me. I preferred Modern Warfare style. So I played a lot of MW3, and then I remember seeing a T Martin video. He's not aged well, but T Martin, I remember seeing a T Martin video back in the day. He was talking about, should you get Black Ops 2? And it was like, if you like, Black Ops 2 is actually way more like Modern Warfare than the original Black Ops. And I was like, yes. Like, that was a selling point to me. I took like some money I had from like a birthday or something and went and bought Black Ops 2, and I played that game so much. That was the first game I got gold camos for guns. I got into quick scoping. It was the first time I really prestiged a good bit. Like, I played Black Ops 2 a lot. Loved Black Ops 2. You know what the next game that came out was? Ghosts. You know what game I pre-ordered? Ghosts. You know what game was the worst game in Call of Duty history and people still make retrospectives about it like 6 years later? Ghosts. It's so bad. It's the only game I've ever considered selling back to GameStop and would have thought it would have been worth it. It was horrible. You regretted getting Last of Us Part 2? Really? That game seemed to have a very divided response. Played Carbon. The acting was so bad and the cop man was always in your face. Oof. Regret buying NHL games that seem still have terrible AI. Sports games as a whole, they're such a weird concept. Like, I get why they exist. I get their reasoning. It makes sense. But, like, at some point you just got to accept that, like, we're just going to release a game called, you know, NBA or called FIFA or called Madden. And it is the FIFA game for the Series X and PlayStation 5. That's it. Every year, there's a $30 DLC that gives you all the new players. Like, that gives you a new roster, and you can play both years. Why not do that? And the answer is money, obviously, but, like, sports games have such a terrible reputation, because it's like, somehow they have such a bad reputation, and people still buy them. Call of Duty Ghosts is fine. It got hated on hard, and the people that started liking it a few years later. I have yet to see someone who likes it. It was terrible vanilla, because I don't know what you're talking about. Weirdly, it's also the only Call of Duty game I've completed on Veteran. But, like, I actually completed the campaign on Veteran. But I was desperate for that game to be good, because it was the first game I had, like... I guess not first. It was, like, the second game I had ever pre-ordered. First one being Halo 4. Like, so I remember getting Ghosts, and it was so bad. I didn't enjoy playing it. Like, I wasn't sure what was going on. Like, that was the first time I was ever really critical of a game. You know, usually it's like, oh, I'm not doing well, but it's fine. It's still okay. But I was like, this is weird. I'm not having fun. Like, I remember being very confused at, like, the fact that I wasn't having fun playing a game. I was like, how is this possible? And it turned out, no, it was just... I remember going into like GameStop a couple years later and just offhandedly mentioning that I bought Ghosts, and the guy behind the counter went, dude, I feel so bad for you. Like, it probably just comes down to which games you've played, but, like, there was one thing in the campaign. One of the QuickTime events was super bad. There were forum posts of people trying to figure out how to get through this QuickTime event on Veteran, and turns out it was just too fast for lefties to do. Like, that's legit what it ended up being. Like, people was like, I can't do it, and, like, there were enough people backing them up in the comments to be like, I literally cannot do this on 360. Like, it's impossible. Turns out it's because as a lefty, my right hand isn't coordinated enough to button mash fast enough. And as a lefty, and as someone who holds a controller properly, my left hand's not used to button mashing to mash the button fast enough. I had to take my Xbox to a friend's house and have him beat that QuickTime event for me to finish the campaign. I spent days on it, because there was a whole cutscene beforehand that you couldn't skip. No Man's Sky. See, I actually didn't hear about that game until like a week before it came out, and then it was a big disappointment. Very similar to Cyberpunk. Not that Cyberpunk's a disappointment, but like, I hadn't heard about Cyberpunk until this year. Yet this game was apparently announced in 2013. Like, what? Like, yeah, that's... I'm still out of the loop on a lot of this stuff, I guess, guys. No Man's Sky is pretty all right now. I've heard they'd fixed it. You have the exact same memory as you about Ghosts. Yeah. Yeah, Ghosts was just... I don't know, man. I could not enjoy that. I see, like, they just kind of screwed the story with Last of Us 2. I gotcha. I know people hated on the game before it even came out, and, like, that's unfounded. But, like, if there's genuine complaints once the game is out, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, it was... Yeah, No Man's Sky was a massive disappointment when it came out, and, like, looking back on it, like, you can hate on Hello Games for it, but at the same time, they handled it as well as they could after the fact. The problem is they had an engineer. They had a software guy doing press conferences. You can't do that. Like, no matter whether or not I know everything about a product that I'm working on as a software guy, there needs to be a marketing guy who can talk to, like, people about it, because I will respond to questions like I'm responding to a client or a project manager and be like, yeah, we can try to do that, and like won't say yes or no, because like a no isn't really an acceptable answer in a lot of those cases. Like as just a dev, it's like that's how it is. Like, so yeah, it's very easy for the media to spin they didn't say no to this as it's a yes, and that was the problem that happened with it. It was like they kept showing these things of what it could be, and then people were like, oh, is it this? And it's like, it's not it. And it's like they dug the hole themselves, but like they almost like were forced to dig it, you know? Reminded of Donkey's review of Last of Us 2. I haven't watched a lot of Donkey. The stuff I've seen is good, but I haven't watched too much. Just depends on your perspective on the story. Yeah, I mean, a story-based game, it's just people's opinions are based on the narrative. There's no issue in that. The spoilers save people $60. Black Ops 4 is way worse than Ghost. Okay, so Black Ops 4... I haven't played... Excuse me. I will say... I think I mentioned this on stream a couple weeks ago. I am genuinely concerned. I hope these people have gotten, like, counseling or something. It's genuinely... I don't know what was going on in the writers of like, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Like, I don't know what was going through their minds. That was a fever dream of a game. Like, I don't know what, like, kind of trip they were on. But, like, some stomach pumping was probably in order halfway through that writing process. The game went from, like, a normal, slightly in the future dystopia, ooh, we rely on technology too much, to, like, the weirdest thing. I can't even begin to describe it. The only thing I can describe is the fact that they made Nazi zombies canon. Like, actually, not just like a separate mode that kind of exists, but like, no, they now show up in the campaign. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't know what was going on in that story. I haven't played Black Ops 4. I bought Ghosts, then didn't buy a couple. Black Ops 3 was on sale. So I bought that, like, on Steam, because I wanted some more. I wanted, at the time, that was like, oh, that was going to be my pretty-looking FPS game to play multiplayer-wise, and also to learn FPS, mouse and keyboard. So I bought it. I tried playing the campaign. I couldn't stand it. And, like, a month or two ago, not even 2 months ago, like, a month ago, maybe, I was like, you know what, I'll finish this. I'll play this. I haven't played it in a couple years. Maybe it's not so bad. It was still bad, but it was bearable. I'd gotten better at FPS games, like, with mouse and keyboard, so I was like, I can do it, and I did it, and I don't know what the heck that story was. Like, it was... The closest I can equate it to another story, and how ridiculous it got from a generally, like, not grounded, but, like, accepted sci-fi concept, is Lucy. If anyone remembers that movie with Scarlett Johansson, the movie Lucy. I'm gonna spoil it, but, like, you know, it goes back. That movie went back to the concepts of like, oh, what, you know, we only use 10% of our brains. What if we could access all of it? And then like, so you have that, this like college student on spring break or whatever, whoever Lucy was right at the start of the movie, somehow gets tricked into like running this drug for some like, you know, organized crime group or whatever. And like, you're gonna take this, and then somehow she accidentally was injected with it or something, and then, oh, she's super smart and can do this stuff. And then it became, she physically was capable of able to transform physical attributes like her hair color on the fly just by thinking about it. And then the end of the movie, she just turned into a USB drive. Like, the plot of that movie went from like, it was like going along, and it just shot up into absurdity and didn't slow down. And the same thing happened with the Black Ops 3 campaign. Like, it went from just a frustrating and dull FPS campaign to, like, me genuinely not knowing how anyone could have come up with this idea in, like, 2 campaign missions, and then there was an epilogue mission, and that was it. Like, that was the whole campaign, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I was already kind of complaining that it was kind of boring and frustrating at points. Like, it just got grindy. Because it wasn't meant to be single player. It was very much meant to be, like, a co-op campaign. Like, you couldn't pick up weapons in the whole thing. Like, you couldn't pick up enemy weapons in the whole thing, which was really dumb. So you had to, like, customize your loadouts before going into a mission. Which means, like, they couldn't force you to have a certain gun. So they couldn't do, like... They couldn't do any of, like, the cool sniper missions they did in the old ones. Like, any of the COD 4 campaigns. Campaign missions, you know, like, I almost said No Russian, but that's not that's not a COD 4 map. That is MW2 and not even a required mission. It's just the one I remember. But like the Pripyat missions in COD 4, like they forced you to be in a ghillie suit, they forced you to have a sniper, they forced you to have a pistol. Like that was the point, was a stealth. They couldn't do that. Like every mission had to be beatable with a shotgun, an AR, an SMG, an LMG, and a sniper. Like it had to be done that way. So they were super generic missions, and then they just suddenly got really absurd. I ranted about that for a while, didn't I? Black Ops Cold War looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. I played the beta. It was fun. I'm not gonna buy it. Nothing against the game. I just don't buy every Call of Duty anymore. I bought Modern Warfare 2019. That is the Call of Duty game that I will play if I want to play Call of Duty until probably about 2023. Like, that's about how often I buy them. Maybe a little longer than that. I'll probably find games that aren't FPS, or Halo Infinite might be okay. I don't know. Halo 4 is coming out on PC in like 5 days, and I'm excited for that. But it's like I bought Modern Warfare because it was like I hadn't bought a Call of Duty since Black Ops 3. Love the multiplayer in Modern Warfare. It's just the incremental upgrades that the games make at this point, while they are incremental upgrades, like I don't feel it's worth paying, $60 every year to play another Call of Duty game. It's like the one I'm playing works just fine and looks just as good as it did yesterday. Cold War looks kind of clean. It does look really nice. I really like the UI. The one thing I don't like is the score streak system that they have going. And it's not like it's different, so it's bad. It's like, my one concern with it is it makes it, there's not a lot of variety. By the end of like the first month of the game being out, if not earlier, everyone who plays that game a lot is going to know, like, matches are going to be divided into stages of this kill streak comes now, this kill streak will come in 30 seconds, this one will come in a minute. Like, there will be a general, like, kind of pace that you earn your points at. I think that's my prediction, is, like, I mean, because they already had it in the demo, or people were having issues where it's like, they had to have a specific voice line that was like, multiple insert kill streak incoming. Because, everyone had, like, the same spy plane set and stuff, and it was in a situation where, like, everyone, going at their normal pace. Like, both sides had a lot of people hit that spy plane at the same time, because it's not like someone just burst ahead and got a couple more kills and they were able to fire theirs off, and everyone's kill streaks are resetting. It's like, because they're just constantly all going up. There's going to be an average point where each kill streak's hit every match. So I think you're going to have that where it's like the spy planes come in, and then a little bit further in the match, you'll have the artillery strikes come in, and then the attack choppers will come in. Like, it's going to be a bunch of stuff, and I feel like people who do a lot of the kill streaks that are limited by airspace are going to have a lot of frustration when, like, every person is, like, getting their attack helicopter at the same time. If you aren't the first one to get it, airspace is crowded, sorry. That's my biggest concern with it. The game, aside from that, looks really nice. I'm not going to buy it because I'm not going to buy it. Like, the score streak thing's not enough to make me not buy it. I just wasn't going to buy it anyways. Like, I was able to play the beta, and it was fun. But if I want to play Call of Duty, I have Modern Warfare. You know that movie? Yeah, Lucy was weird. Itchy nose, very itchy nose. Can I help evolve your ride on? I can't, Demetrius, but someone in chat might be able to, or I have a channel in my Discord for trading if you want to hit that up. I think Treyarch knows what they're doing. Okay, I read that one. Yeah. He went to GameStop today to pick up Spidey Morales and maybe 2 Avenger pin sets and 2 Assassin's Creed posters for free. Nice. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, oh, give these to people who pre-order, and then they ship, like, 1 for every unit that they have, or if not more. Itchy nose. Everyone's talking about my itchy nose. I'm very aware of it. Like how Cold War's a prequel to Black Ops 1. Really? that's actually kind of nice. I think both franchises, or like both branches inside Call of Duty, had gotten too future-y. Right? Like, I'm not alone in thinking that. I know I'm not alone in thinking that. Like, am I alone in this chat in thinking that, I guess, is what I'd be asking. But, like, I guess what happened is, like, Black Ops 2 did well as a decently futuristic game. Like, that's not, like, a 5 years from now futuristic. Like, Modern Warfare 3 was technically in the future at the time that it released. I think at this point, I think Modern Warfare 3 was in 2019. But the game released, back in, like, 2013, 2014. I forget the year. I think it was 12 or 13 or 14. It was one of those. But yeah, so you had this, you had that, and like, so that's not really futuristic, we're gonna make the technology we show you thinner and smaller, and hey, that's a pretty accurate prediction, because that's just how things are. But he didn't really think about it as future until they showed timestamps, where, like, Black Ops 2 was really the first COD game to be, like, future, and state, like, this is the future, and make it clear that these weapons are futuristic. Which, again, not an issue. No problems with that. It was unique then. It's not unique now. So it's nice to see him going back and doing some more older time periods. Watching this boy itch that nose. That's really what you're here for. The shiny hunting's not as important. Like, I should really put that in the bottom corner and then just, like, really go, like, scratching my nose in the main cam. Quit playing COD actively after Black Ops 2. Yeah, like, that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. Like, I played COD 4 because that was the only Xbox game I had when I first got my 360. Like, COD 4 was the only game I had on Xbox until I got Halo 3 after Reach came out, but before that Christmas. Like, I just had some money and got it. And then I got Reach that Christmas, and Reach was the game I played until my disc physically broke. And even then, I kept playing Reach until the disc no longer read. There was a crack in my disc that had separated the data layer from, like, the disc. So a giant chunk of my game was delaminating, but it would still load. It would still play. I'm, like, blowing this mic out, and I apologize. Because I keep moving around. But yeah, so I had a massive crack on the disc. So, like, I could only play, like, 3 or 4 maps. So I just had to tell everyone in the party, like, vote for this map. The other one's not loading for me today. Like, that's how bad my disc was. But it still booted the game, so I could play Forge World maps. I could play, like, Sword Base. I think, yeah, the only Sword Base map I could play. But I couldn't play most of the other maps. Just because of the state of my disc. But I played so much Reach. That was so much fun. And then I played Halo 4 and Black Ops 2. And then I got GTA, but that was, like, post me playing really online stuff. That was more so just like, oh, GTA looks really cool. I want to play that. You like shiny Tapu Lele? Dude, all the Tapu shinies look fantastic. Like, I know, like, black shinies, like, they look really nice, usually. And I kind of get hate for that because, this is unoriginal. It's just another black shiny. But it's like, the Tapus look great. I think it makes sense for them to be like that. Like, they went from being super colorful to all being like this really sleek, like, black. Yes, I love it. Dragon Tamer, welcome to the stream. You got a 5th phase for Tapu Bulu. It's like you got it on the 5th phase? Nice, dude. Congrats. Advanced Warfare was okay. Infinite Warfare was meh. Didn't play Infinite Warfare that much. I don't remember what the stories were for those because I didn't play them. I know Kevin Spacey was the bad guy in one of them or something. Turns out he just is a bad guy, but back then he was just playing the bad guy. Yo, Shiny Lucario, how's it going, man? Don't really like GTA that much. I liked it because it was another silly drive around game. Like, the story was neat, but really, I even still boot GTA up to this day to, like, just screw around in a car that will kick the back end out when I want it to. GTA 5 will also be released for the PS6, PS7, PS8. They may as well announce it, man. They're not going to make a GTA 6 until GTA Online stops bringing in money. You're like Trevor, but that's it. I usually play as Franklin just for the driving skill. Obviously, as I've talked about like every other time I've brought up a video game, it's like, if I can drive in it, I'll be happy. Let me be in a car. What do they never make a GTA 6? Honestly, I don't know if they will. Like, why make a GTA 6 if GTA 5 is still going to sell copies on a next gen console at this point? Like, think about that. Those games came out for the 360 and PS3. Like, I think a lot of people think of them as Xbox One games just because they did come out in the later end of the 360. But, like, they came out for the 360 and PS3. Yet we're still here getting them announced for the Series X and the PS5. Like, I know they got flamed for it, rightfully, but doesn't mean they're not releasing them, and it also means they probably do have something done for GTA 6. Like, being realistic, there will be a GTA 6. It'll just, I don't know what they would do as far as the online, because it's like it would have its own online, but like the GTAV online is just going too well. There's no reason for them to. They're still releasing content for GTA Online, which is great. It's like great news for people who play it, but that's just their cash cow. There's no need for them to update it. It's like the number of people who have bought like 5 different versions of Skyrim. Like, why would they make Elder Scrolls 6 if Elder Scrolls 5 is still selling well? Like, GTA 5 is still in one of the top selling games like every month. Like, they have, like, Rockstar has legitimately zero reason to make a GTA 6 aside from people being upset about it. And, like, the people being upset are already the people not spending their money on it. I don't know if 6 will come out this console gen. It's, realistically, though, like, I don't think it got a bump. It didn't get much of a bump this time around. It's basically just the Xbox One version. It's basically just the I guess now last gen? It's weird. I still call the Xbox One and PS4 next gen. I guess they're last gen now. But the Xbox One PS4 version really just kind of moved like laterally to these new consoles. I don't think there was really much of a bump. I think people are just saying like, it looks the same but it runs smoother. So they didn't put too much effort into it. And I know a lot of those games are just backwards compatible by virtue of the consoles being fairly backwards compatible. So I don't think it's not really that they came out on the system. It was just kind of Rockstar announcing that the games work on the system, and you can buy them in a new case. I would be genuinely surprised if there isn't some amount of GTA 6 work done at this point, even if it's just story wise. I would almost say it'd be like later in this console gen, just because they already have GTAV on it. It's not like they're missing a GTA on this gen. It's just not a new one. Let's play GTA 3 and call it a day. Was GTA 3 like the first one that wasn't like top down? Or was that GTA 4? I know the first couple of GTAs were just like top down things. They were like totally different games. Kind of like how Fallout 1 is nothing like Fallout 3. A new GTA is always released on a new console. Well, we didn't get one last time. I think we got 2 GTAs on the 360, just going off of Xbox consoles, and then we got half of one on the one, just because they re-released it better, but like it was the same story. Like there's no need to finish it. If you played it on 360, you've played it. Been on 3 console gens now. I guess Skyrim was never announced for it, so technically at this point, Rockstar is more memeable than Skyrim in that regard. It's just that Skyrim's come out on like so many other platforms. I'm really sorry I'm itching my nose so much, guys. No itching yesterday, because I didn't stream yesterday. I have the light turned away, so it can't be the light. Like, it's just as soon as I'm on camera. Yo, Grenji, what's going on, man? You want a PS5? You mean you weren't able to grab a pre-order for one, dude? Nah, I mean, dude, it was brutal. watching like anything gaming hardware wise like get announced. Like first we had I forget what happened. I think the pre-orders for these happened first. So you had your Xbox and your PlayStation pre-orders immediately go, like in minutes. They were immediately gone. The 3000 series graphics cards, each one of those has come out. It's immediately flown off the shelves. I still don't know if like Switches are really back in stock. I haven't gone and looked, but like I remember when I got my mom her Switch Lite, like those were out of stock. Like it was a rough one to try to find like anything gaming in stock. And now you've got AMD CPUs are going out of stock quick. Like people are still stuck at home and getting as much gaming stuff as they can. It's crazy. Power next gen to make GTA load faster. That's pretty much. I think someone mentioned it online today. Like, oh, I'm playing GTA for the new consoles. Someone asked how it is, and it's literally just like, yeah, it loads faster and runs smoother. So like they didn't do any like graphical updates for it this time. Like it's a straight port across. A staple of the channel. I gotta get the mic in close so it's like ASMR. I can hear it going back into my mic, so I'm sorry if you guys are hearing me itch my nose. Makes Sonic 06 almost playable. Almost. Can't hope. You know, can't be unreasonable here. It's almost playable. Holding the DualSense? Nice. Yeah, I have... One of my buddies was able to get a PS5 pre-order. I don't think anyone I know got an Xbox pre-order. I know some people who want Xboxes, but they are like refreshing websites now, hoping that some roll into stock. Didn't think you would get enough, so you spent, and then you got more money and knew you would not get enough at the time. Or if you wouldn't spend, you wouldn't have the cash. Hindsight, man. 1,000 for a PS5 on eBay. The scalping has been real, man. It's been so real, like with especially I know the PC hardware has been super scalped, and not shocking in the slightest to hear that the new consoles are getting scalped too. The scalping was so bad with the Nvidia 3080 launch that like MSI was scalping the cards themselves. That was kind of funny. Technically wasn't them, it was some second party that, you know, runs their eBay page for them and sells refurbished cards, but somehow, you know, through some unknown system, this eBay seller related to the manufacturer got a hold of some cards and was selling them at like 2x price. Like, come on now. Come on. You know it's bad when the people who are making the cards are scalping them. Imagine the amount of Pokemon cards with 1G, one, like, first gen. If Microsoft wants to push exclusives, then why put them on PC? Because then you give Microsoft money either way. They don't care if I own a PC or an Xbox. An Xbox is a fridge-shaped PC at this point. Let's be real. Like, they've accepted that. That's why Game Pass works on PC as well. That's why Master Chief Collection's coming out on PC. That's why Forza's on PC. Like, they don't care if the game's only on Xbox. They just care that the game's not on PS5. Because I mentioned this at the start. They would make more money from me buying Game Pass technically than from me subscribing to Game Pass as a PC user than they would make from a Xbox Series X person who has Game Pass. Aside from that, we're identical. Because they sold the console to that guy at a loss to get him to buy that subscription. I would be buying Game Pass on top of the $100 I already gave Microsoft for my Windows copy. This gets more people to buy Xbox and more people on Windows 10. If you want to play a Bethesda... Now, if you want to play a Bethesda game, you're going to have to get an Xbox. Most likely. Or a PC. They don't care. They make their money off the games. Like, that's just been a thing for a long time now. It's like, sell the console at a loss. Because once they buy like 3 games, it'll be positive again for, you know, the manufacturer. Game Pass is nice, such a good idea. I'm still old school in the sense that I like to own the stuff I play. like that I pay for. Like, it took me a long time to crack and get Spotify, and even then, every once in a while, I'll still like buy albums off Bandcamp, just so I. It's like, nope, I have the Flax downloaded. Like, Apocalypse and services shut down. I can still listen to some rap songs if I want them or whatnot. Like just give me an MP3 player or something that can play Flax, and I'll be happy. Like X because no one wants it. Ha! Got him. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, I wouldn't end up getting an Xbox, and that is solely because I already have a PC. Like Microsoft doesn't care that I won't buy an Xbox because, like I said, I would immediately buy Crash 4 if they just put it on crossplay. Desktop uses Windows 8 and your laptop uses Windows 10. My desktop used Windows 8 for a long time. Until I built this new one, I was on Windows 8. Child's Play. Windows XP. The overclocker in the group. Don't care about any security vulnerabilities. You just need that thing to boot up with a PS2 port. $256 megabytes of RAM XP. The real big brain move is putting like 64 gigs into a Windows XP system where it only registers 4 gigs of it. Like the ultimate flex. Like I could be running one of these sticks, but nah, I'm gonna put all 4, and I can't even use a quarter of one. It's gonna keep expanding on time. Yeah, that's their plan. They're gonna do it the same way Apple's been doing it. Because from their perspective, for one, it lets them do the things that people dislike, like always trying to force Edge back as your main browser every major update, as well as I'm making a lot of weird noises in the mic. I'm gonna move it away. It's like I'm leaning into the mic and then scratching my nose. It has to be lovely for you guys to listen to. But what was I saying? I totally forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, for Windows 10. Yeah, they want everyone on the same OS because it means when they push a security update out, they only have to develop it one time. Versus like if a bug is found in the core Windows kernel, they used to have to write a patch for 7, 8, for like Vista 7 and 8 or something like that, and then that's why they like canned XP and Vista's support, globally, corporation wide as well, and they're killing Windows 7 too. It's like they want everyone on Windows 10. Because then they only have to patch Windows 10 ever. Like, they know where their money's at, and they know that their money's not in selling licenses of Windows every year to people. It's like people will buy Windows licenses when and if they need them, no matter what. Automatically installed on your PC? How? Because they did that. Because technically they gave it to you as a gift, and you could have reverted it if you wanted, so, it's not on them that you didn't, is really what that is. But, yeah. Yeah, that was for the longest time. There's a little Windows icon that would pop up in your taskbar in the system tray. And that program would, like, randomly during the night try to run and see if anything was active, and if it wasn't, it would install 10 on the PC. Remember when people worried about Windows 7 not having security updates? Still using it, you're fine. Dude, that's actually really sketch, man. Like, the worst security things aren't, like, issues with, like, oh no, my computer, all the files got locked out and I must send Bitcoin. It's the people who are able to silently watch you log into all of your accounts. Like, that's actually really sketch, dude. I would highly recommend upgrading. Even now, Microsoft is being very generous and usually just kind of allows you to upgrade to 10. I never bought 10. I had an 8 license and just used one of my available keys for this computer, and it took it as a Windows 10 Pro key. I would very much recommend updating. Training wheels first made room-sized computer. Look, man, if you're not wiring up all the bits yourself, what are you doing? Yeah, screw Microsoft Edge. Okay, it's not a bad browser. It's not bad objectively. It's just all of my stuff is in Chrome. I want to keep using that. Why is that still a thing? Why is what still a thing? You still get updates for Windows 7? How's that possible? It's still supported for the moment, I think, right? Or did they drop full support for it? Like, they announced they were going to. I don't know if they did. You booted up your PC and it was just there. That's what the update was for. Like, for Windows 10? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it do. I remember my old PC updated to Windows 10, or attempted to, and the update failed. Like, my computer blue screened in the middle of the update, and like when I turned it back on, I was like, something went wrong, and I was like, what happened? Because I've been very good about preventing it from updating, because I hadn't had great experiences with Windows 10 at the time. It's like, I don't want to put my new computer on that. And then I ran a Minecraft server on it overnight, like one time, and sure enough, it took it and tried, and it failed. It failed. My computer was a good little computer and failed. But yeah, they were sneaky about it. Download so many sketchy files, don't care at all. I mean, dude, that's on you, man. Darkstrick's almost died. He's at 9 HP. Ooh, that's kind of close, man. Let's upgrade to 8. For some reason, just don't like 10. At this point, you wouldn't be able to upgrade to 8. Like, you have to own a license for it. 10's better than it used to be. There's still weird quirks I find every once in a while. But it's not as bad as it was back in 2015. Downgrade to Windows 85. Just run MS-DOS, man. Oh, you booted up and Edge was just there. Yeah, also Microsoft Teams just installing itself and everything is phenomenal and totally not annoying. Because then you have to uninstall Microsoft Teams and uninstall the system-wide installer, because otherwise it reinstalls itself. Yeah, that's one that I dislike. I very much dislike. Like, why Microsoft did that with Teams, I will not get. Like, it makes no sense for people to have Teams. Like, no one, like, on a casual, like, I guess they kind of pushed it, like, I'd say, I would say they pushed it, like, they pushed it so that, you know, like, everyone's already working from home and telecommuting and stuff. Like, but they did it before this. They did it before all this stuff, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it was before any of the lockdown or anything that they'd been pushing it. Yeah, that was. I don't get why they did that, because it's not like people are going to replace like Discord with Teams or something like that. Like, come on now. Like, they have to know that. I don't know why they added that in. Yeah, like that is a thing. That's pretty common for programs to like automatically set themselves as startups, but like, it's just weird that they installed it anyways. Just use Zoom and Teams web app. Yeah, I use Teams on my work laptop and Discord for any kind of voice communication on my PC, because I'm not doing anything professionally on my computer. Remember when early 2000s internet from Windows was amazing, and now it's just horror stories? And I feel like the horror stories are from back then, right? Just like how, like, slow and weird the internet was. Desktop keeps making it update to 10, and you're like, no. It shouldn't still be doing that, man. Like, that was the thing where they basically had it for a year, and then they just gave up and went, alright, you're on it if you're on 8 if you want to be on 8. Like, you have clearly already decided here. Wanted to get into Linux, but it feels so weird and sketchy. Says the one of us here is like, I don't care if I get a virus. I don't care I don't have security patches. Linux would be so much better if you want to do sketchy stuff. Almost every virus, like, written wants to, every, like, consumer virus, like, virus that is intended to attack someone like you, is written for just, like, Windows, because the most likely one to have a success. I have a couple laptops on Ubuntu, just because if I have an old laptop, I'll just throw Linux on it. Like Ubuntu. I'll just throw like Ubuntu on it to have an OS that's lightweight and that I don't have to use a Windows key for. And I've ended up like going to like websites that try to pull that, you have a virus, let's look at your operating system, and it's like Windows version. or so like operating version, Windows, and then you can tell a blank space where it wanted to try to read the number. And it goes into more details that it still can't get because it's looking for Windows stuff. What's the difference between Linux and Kali Linux, or is it the same? So Linux is like the core of it. There are many different flavors of Linux, distributions of Linux. Kali Linux is one that is meant for like pen testing and various security testing. There is no reason to run that as a daily. It is actually like, it actually doesn't install like it should ever run as a daily. Like it expects to be run on a very like specific kind of system in like a virtualization environment more than anything. You would probably want to look at like Ubuntu if you were looking at running a Linux distro on your PC. But it's kind of like Linux is open source, so anyone can take the source code of Linux and make their own version of Linux. Like Arch, Fedora, Mint, Ubuntu, Debian, I would kind of say, but Debian's like the basis for other versions. Like essentially, like they took Linux, made Debian, and then Debian was built on to make other things like Ubuntu, which is Ubuntu is generally the one that most people like. For one, it's the easiest to get into, and two, it's like the most user-friendly to use on a daily basis without pulling your hair out. You get scared the font on a website is weird. It looks off-putting. Alright, even if it's just a normal site, but the site looks normal. But there's some weird ROMs and files in here. Good, I gotcha. But yeah, like, I have some laptops on Linux. It's something I've actually considered taking one of the hard drives from that computer, one of like the SSDs that just has games on it, and like I don't need to have a terabyte of games on that computer that's sitting over there. They're all installed here. I was thinking about taking one of the SSDs from that computer, making that a Ubuntu drive, like an Ubuntu boot drive, and putting that in this PC, like my current PC, and then trying to run that like as a daily for a while. Like the biggest thing and the one reason why most of the people in like this chat wouldn't be able to is gaming. Linux gaming is terrible, and it's not Linux's fault. It's the fact that Microsoft made DirectX, and it is only a Windows thing, and so many games need DirectX for like their graphical libraries. So like games just don't work on Linux because they're not written to run on Linux. I think the newer Windows 10 updates are nice. Like they haven't been bad. I actually preferred it back during its beta. I was in the beta for Windows 10. One of my laptops had it. And it was just Windows 8, but with like an actual start menu. And I was like, this is great. Let's just do this. And then they changed it to what it is now. And I was like, this is a bit more jank. Like that was when I started having issues with it. And then they released it like that. And I was like, dude, you rolled the release build to my laptops and they both failed. Like I'm not putting that on a new PC. Yo, are we getting a raid? Welcome, raiders. What? Alcedon raid? Thank you for the raid, guys. Welcome, raiders. How are you guys doing today? Mew Master, Jolteon Unboxings, Acid Insen. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mew Master, Jolteon Unboxings, the Turtwig Trainer, Eevee Pokemon, and Acid Insen. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good stream today. What were you guys up to over there? Mayu Angel Arts, welcome to the stream. Said it right? Hey! Good. Alright, man. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Lost the shiny race today. Oh no! Oh no, what were you going for? Eevee Pokemon, thank you for the sub. Just a little bit of salt. Oh, Turtwig won the shiny race. What were you guys racing for? Going for Clobbopus? Ah, I see. Yes, congrats to Turtwig for winning. Turtwig failed his? Oof. Failed it once. He failed it once and then got another. Jolty on Unboxings, thank you for the sub. How much is a little bit of salt? More than a pinch, less than a dash, or the other way around? I don't know. Apparently those are actual measurements, but dumps the whole container of salt out. How much salt's in the sea? You encounter 2, so acid wins basically. Oh, okay. Technically, since he got it first, then he still won if he didn't catch it. If he caught it the second time. I mean, yeah, I guess that depends on the rules, but I feel like either a fail makes you immediately lose, or like, I mean, if you get it a second time, like, you still got it and caught it, right? You got rated like 3 streams in a row? Yeah, seems like it. Really appreciate it. It's always good hanging out with some new people. It's off his raid game. Man, by the time I finish up, like, there's not a lot of people to raid. I think we raided Rainbow last time. I don't know if Rainbow's streaming today. We got like 30 minutes to figure out if we're going to do what we'll do for a raid. I promised one, so we're going to do one. Named it PS5 because you couldn't pre-order a PS5 just as funny. Ooh, pouring some more salt onto the wound there. So you couldn't get the shiny or the PS5. Yo, Chris, what's going on, man? Welcome. How's it going? It's going well. It's going well. We just got raided by Acid Incense. And we're on track. We're on pace for our usual 150 encounters in the stream. Got to see some well-salted acid. Nice. We got plenty. Got a whole stockpile of it. No running out anytime soon. Sea salt ice cream. Stop eating salt. Just make sure to stay hydrated too. Really, that's not enough though. Don't eat salt. Don't just eat pure salt. That's not good for you in any way. Sea salt ice. I've never heard of sea salt ice cream. You got back into opening Pokemon cards again, and you do miss opening the packaging for the cards more than the actual cards. It's all part of the experience, yeah. I can actually kind of agree. Like, it's neat when you pull a really rare card, but it's like, I'm not gonna, like, sell it. It's like, you know, any card that's not in my collection is just as worth it, really. But, like, yeah, opening those little packets is so nice. When they open right, it's really nice. Sometimes they just don't open right. But, like, when the whole thing essentially just unfolds for you, it's so great. I agree, Juan. Squishy, what's going on? What's up? Alright, Mew Master, I appreciate that. Get your Dasani water. Man, you just gotta carry around your own water bottle. Because then you can get a big water bottle. I still have my really big one that hasn't been used a whole lot in the past, like, several months, seeing as it was what I took to work. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I don't want to, like, stop if I'm not... Sorry about that, guys. I had to mute myself because that was going to be a very loud sneeze, and it was indeed a very loud sneeze. I'm going to go out to eat dinner. Good luck on the Shiny Orb. Well, thank you, Acid. Thank you for the raid. Sorry to hear you lost the Shiny race, and I hope it is, hope dinner is good. The Master of Mews. It's an impressive title to have. eating straight ice for no reason other than that you like it, isn't it like a sign of something? Or is that something else? I thought ice was like a sign, like just chewing ice was a sign of something. I know it's supposedly bad for your teeth. I feel like it was like a sign of like anemia or something. The itchy nose again. It's itchy and it actually sneezed this time. I got my boy Regice again. I can, but I won't. That'll never happen. I've done more Regice encounters than any one man should. I went over full odds for the original encounter in Gen 3, except I was in Usum with the shiny charm. That shouldn't have happened. That was brutal, and I am never touching that hunt again. Yeah, it's like that is one I will stand by. You like eating pure ice? Like sometimes it's like if I have like ice water and like there's a small ice cube, like that's fine, but like I've never had like a craving to just eat ice. You just need something to do constantly, otherwise you fidget too much. I guess that's fair. Kind of like the same reason that people just chew gum constantly. Regice would probably taste bad. Destroying it would taste so good, though. Regidrago will get a top hat? Oh, I do not want it to. That would be... That would be 700 days of streaming or something, like... That would be something insane. I'm gonna open a calculator on my phone. And try this. Alright, what is... That's not as bad as I thought. That's 66 days of streaming. Why did I think it was way more than that? I think I was thinking 100 and thought 1,000 or something. I'd be about 66 days of streaming at our current rate. No. Well, I mean, I guess, no, it wouldn't be because of... How long did Regice take, and was I taking breaks during Regice? So we hunted that one for too long. We hunted the Regice for way too long. I don't know what was up with that. When it's hot, you eat ice to cool down. I haven't eaten the ice, but I have definitely, like, there was a day, like a couple days back, I think it was Labor Day. It was right at Labor Day, where my apartment was brutally hot, I think. Like, the AC was out. And it was hot outside. Like, there was literally nothing I could do. Except eventually... Sorry, my nose is super itchy, guys. Eventually, it got cold enough at night. And by that, I mean it got below, like, 80 degrees. And it was colder outside than inside. Which means my apartment was over 80 degrees. And I could open a door. So sorry about the itchy nose, guys. I'd say it's never like this, but that'd be a blatant lie. Yeah, it was so hot. Like, I just had ice water constantly, and, like, would just hold the ice cubes to the roof of my mouth to try to cool off. Like, that is something that normally would give me a massive brain freeze, but, like, you could tell I was overheated because all it did was make me feel less bad. Regice would taste like dust because he's been in a temple for years, and tastes like dusty water. That's probably true. You're going to go back to SNF. All right, see you later, Evie. Thank you for coming along with the raid. Thank you for subscribing as well. I appreciate that. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Are you the only one who's never had a brain freeze? Apparently some people can't have brain freezes. Water doesn't get dusty, it evaporates, but ice can get dusty, I guess, if it doesn't melt. Ice water slaps. Ice water is great. Like, I just have my giant 32-ounce water bottle that I'll just fill with ice and water, and is good. Sparkling water's nasty. Tastes like TV static. I can't stand just pure... Like, if it's flavored, it's fine. It has to be a certain way that I guess it has to be done. Because like there's certain sparkling water that's fine when it's flavored, but then there's stuff like the LaCroix or whatever it's supposed to be called that's terrible. I don't know how people drink that. It tastes like just liquid charcoal. It's terrible. LaCroix. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. One of my internships, that was like all they stocked the fridge with was that. Like they had that and they had soda. But like they had way more LaCroix, and they had to constantly replace it. Like everyone in the office drank it, and it's just terrible. Who likes it? It just like the carbonation immediately makes your mouth just taste like just straight like charcoal. It's flavored. Flavored's better. Flavored's okay. Like if the flavor's strong enough, because like with LaCroix, for what I gathered, like if you handed me a can of it and let me take a sip, I wouldn't be able to tell you what the taste is until you told me what the taste was supposed to be. And then I'd be like, I can see how it tried to be that. Like, the aftertaste attempted that. But, like, there's no taste. If you pronounce it LaCroix, we can't be friends. He tried it once and cried a little. As I got a can, I mean, I guess everyone here has it, and it's like, it's probably healthier than, like, a can of Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. It was terrible. Like, if that office didn't just have, like, free snacks, I would have been very upset that I paid for it. I'd rather drink dirt than Dasani. I'm okay with getting a, like, Dasani water bottle if, like, I fill it up at a water fountain afterwards a few times. Dasani water just doesn't taste good. Isn't it like the whole conspiracy that like they actually put salt in it to like make you thirstier? Which I think just comes from the fact that all water has minerals in it, and people extrapolated that. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Coke to do that. Yo, Nate, what's going on, man? Got the shiny yet? Not yet, man. Not yet. It seems like we're nowhere near where most people have been getting it. People have been getting it around the 2000s. Dr. Pepper's S tier. Dr. Pepper's okay. I don't know. I took like a month off of drinking anything other than water, and like I had orange juice once because like I felt like my sinuses were getting filled up, and usually if I like can get some vitamin C in me one day, like it's fine, and sure enough it was. But aside from that, like I had water straight only for a month, and like I'm not as interested in like having a lot of soda now. Like, you know, you just break that habit and then suddenly you're not interested. That's kind of where it is. Like, I've had like a couple bottles of Coke just over the past little bit now. But like, it's like, and energy drinks. I'll still get energy drinks. I'll pull Vsauce Michael's logic and be like, it's an energy drink. It's not a soda. I haven't had soda. So share some luck. Have you had some luck, Nate? I would appreciate it. Someone had the right flavors of what sparkling water. Over here in Galar, we don't have Dasani as much, so you don't know the struggle. For me, what I ended up seeing a lot of Dasani at was just because like I went to a big football school for college, and like Coke was a big sponsor, so all of our vending machines were just full of Coke stuff. So Dasani water is what was in the vending machines, and what was at like counters and stuff. You needed to buy a bottle of water. But yeah, in like Britain, didn't like Dasani just completely flop as like a company and was just had horrible luck or something and failed? A blueberry flavored Dr. Pepper they did for Far From Home, and you miss it. Blueberry Dr. Pepper just sounds weird. Dr. Pepper's a cherry-based soda. Nate grabs the switch and the shiny immediately appears. Bursts through the door and the shiny shows up. Bubbly tastes just like water that's been carbonated with flavoring in there. There's any bad taste. Well, that's good, because LaCroix is garbage. I can't judge any others, because I do know like Walmart brand sparkling water that was like black cherry flavored was pretty good. I remember liking that as a kid. Whatever they do in LaCroix is just wrong. It's an affront to nature. Dr. Pepper shakes from Whataburger. I had Whataburger once. I would love to have it again. That was very good. Bubbles a relatively new brand. Yeah, I remember hearing about it, like, I guess, like, last year or something, and that was it. Like, that was the first time I had heard of it. Catch a legend in a beast ball? No. No. All Pokeballs. All the time. I had your first Baja Blast a month ago after soccer class. Best decision ever. I didn't have it for the longest time. And I had it one time, and I liked it. Really, the reason I hadn't had it was because the first time I ever went to Taco Bell was my sophomore year of college. Let that one sink in. Like, it's not like I had to go anywhere. There was a Taco Bell, like, next to campus. I just didn't go to it until sophomore year. Like, halfway through sophomore year of that. Like, that was the first time I went to Taco Bell, and I was like, man, this is really good. Sonic's kind of gross. Sonic has its charm. I'll get, like, a slushy kind of deal from there. I haven't really gotten food from Sonic in a while. The whole concept of Sonic is either eat outside or eat in a car, and I don't like eating in my car. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But I have gone a couple times. Like, my car club would go there after meets some days, and we'd just sit at, like, the outside seating there, because it was, like, 10:30 at night. In that case, it was fine. And again, I just got, like, a slushy, like a Route 66 slushy or something, or whatever their massive, unhealthy, like, 4-serving size was. I've been drinking strawberry milkshake recently, or should we call it a pinky milky? Slushies are okay, food is no. That's fair. That's fair. As far as fast food goes, I end up Chick-fil-A is always an option, and I'll go to Chipotle more than I would care to admit. The amount that I went to Chipotle is originally the reason why I decided to, like, I'm gonna not eat fast food for a month. I'm like, I'm gonna try to stop eating Chipotle. Was the 100% the reason. It wasn't like I wanted to be healthier, which I mean I kind of did, but like I just wanted to stop paying Chipotle because it's like I live next to the worst Chipotle in the world. It's terrible. Almost every review of this Chipotle is the same as my feelings of I would go to another one if there was another one anywhere near me. They just opened up one recently, so like when I go back, I'm gonna go to that one. It's a little further away, but it's starting to get to the point where like it's gonna start getting too cold and too dark to walk. Because that's what I would do is I just walk to this Chipotle, because like right next to my apartment. But it's so bad. Like, you know, I order the food on my phone like 45 minutes ahead of time. Cause like, you know, it's like I'll order it while I get like, you know, 20 minutes left of work or something, so I can finish up work. And I got like 25 minutes to kind of just sit, or like, you know, even if I walk, I have like 15 minutes to sit, and then I can just put on some shoes, walk, and pick it up right at my pickup time. And then I'll show up, and they'll still be like saying like, if I order it for like 6, I'll show up at 6, and they'll be putting out like 5:45 orders. Like maybe they've changed in the past little bit since I last like was going there. But it was so bad. I had a buddy go one time, like he was at my apartment and he went over there to pick it up, like because he was just leaving my apartment, he's going back to his place, and he's like, I'll order some Chipotle, and he ordered it for like 15 minutes out because that's the soonest you can order it. Got there. And he ordered it for like an 8:15 pickup or something. And he showed up, and at 8:15 he walked in, and they were calling 7:30 orders, I think, if even that. And he sat there until they just told everyone to leave and said they had closed for the night. Like, it's terrible. It was like the worst experience I've had. Like, it's supposed to be easy and convenient to order it on your phone, but it's just something about that place. They couldn't get it down. Subway's garbage. Subway's okay. If you like really want a sandwich and don't care about the quality. Burger King is I used to go to Burger King a bit because I get like a decent sized fries, a drink, and 2 single cheeseburgers for like $4. Which I mean, really is the point of most of this fast food. Steak and Shake's pretty good. Steak and Shake's pretty good. I will agree to that. Their milkshakes are the best. I haven't been in a while, though. It's just one of those things where, like, if I want fast food, I want it quick, and there's, like, stuff that's within walking distance. Chick-fil-A may be homophobic or something because pansexual it slaps. Like, that's kind of... Like, it's like, the people who own it are, like... Yeah, I don't agree with the people who own the place, like, the company name, but, like, they make a good chicken sandwich. Like, I can respect people who won't go there, like, on principle of that. Like, great for them. I can't resist it. Like, that's what it is. They make a good chicken sandwich. Subway's double chocolate cherry cookies on Valentine's Day. That sounds interesting. Fake grill mark on your chicken? What place does that? McDonald's is meh, mostly, but McDonald's breakfast items are the bomb. I don't know how many of you agree with this, that any fast food place that offers a breakfast option, the breakfast option's better. McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, like, as much as the chicken sandwich is great, a Chick-fil-A biscuit is the, like, best. Like, the best thing they sell, and their hash browns are great, too. Subway never got your order right? How do they not get your order right? Like, you're pointing to the stuff right in front of them. You like Subway, think there's more stuff out there? That's fair. I guess I just don't really order a lot of sandwiches. Starbucks has real food, but, like, why? Yeah, I mean, they're a coffee place. I don't really like coffee, so I never really go there. Yo, Ash, what's going on, man? Shiny luck. Hopefully we can get it. Got hyper off the coffee. I mean, that's the point. The caffeine, man. Missed the waffle tacos from Taco Bell. They had waffle tacos? What? Granted, my usual Taco Bell order is like 2 quesadillas. It used to be the double dia, like a chicken double dia, but then they removed it from the menu, so I'm like, alright, let's get 2 quesadillas then. That's the same thing. It's probably not, but... McDonald's served... When did McDonald's ever serve pizza? I have not heard of this. Barely changed their grease and clean the grill like they should. I feel like that kind of comes down to a McDonald's by McDonald's thing. Like, that's a franchise deal. Like, that's kind of where it's like, this Chipotle I go to is the worst. But there are better Chipotles. There are great Chipotles. Starbucks is pleasant hot chocolate sometimes. I believe that. Chick-fil-A and Popeyes don't exist in Galler, so you're missing out. Oh yeah, Popeyes is a chicken sandwich, don't they? I never tried that. Because I only... If it's not constantly being bombarded into my face, I forget about it. There's not a Popeyes close by. And the only time I was really hearing about it was when it was like, Popeyes was like, oh, this chicken sandwich is big, and they're running out of chicken sandwiches. It's like, I'm gonna go stand in a super long line just to get a chicken sandwich. Chick-fil-A is your favorite of all time. I am aware, Mel. Wonder if Ash Ketchum has ever had McDonald's. McDonald's is in most countries. Probably has. Golden Corral. As a kid, I loved it. As an adult, and I understand health standards, Golden Corral is just weird and gross. like any kind of buffet that's like that is very questionable. I also don't eat enough to make it worth it. And the last time we tried to go there, it was like crab night or something. Like, it's a long time ago. But we tried to go there, it was like crab night. It was like, oh, are you here for crab night? We're like, no. And we walked in like, if it doesn't matter if you're paying, if you want to eat the crab or not. It's like $24 a person or something ridiculous for that night. I was like, no. So we left and we went to like IHOP or something. Never been to Golden Corral, so good. It's mediocre buffet food. Like, the whole idea is, oh, it's a buffet and that's cool, but like, it's buffet food. Like it's just sitting out in the open where anyone can touch it and put it back or do whatever to it, and it's weird. Little Caesars breadsticks. I had so much Little Caesars in high school just because that was like the pizza that like we'd buy for our like after school activities and stuff, and it's just cardboard. It's just cardboard with cheese on it. I'm not a Little Caesars fan. I think they tried to rework it, but it's too ingrained in me that it's like the worst. Costco pizza, on the other hand, Costco pizza is really good. Don't live near a Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Starbucks, and the other big ones. Got a Pizza Hut, Domino's, Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, Subway, Sonic, and Wendy's. I go to Plattsburgh every year as a kid and would always go to a Little Caesars and a Kmart, but it closed like 2 years ago. Rip. Yeah, there was like a Little Caesars in like a strip mall by my house, and like that was kind of near the school, so like we'd end up picking up Little Caesars from there, and it was just like, because it's like $5 a pizza, and when you have to feed like a whole high school robotics team, like it makes sense. And it's pizza, and we're in high school, so we're not going to care that it's bad pizza. You mostly get local fast foods because it tastes better. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, it's going to be better than a lot of the franchise stuff, usually. When he says good ice cream and stuff, I think, like, Frosties are good. I have the unpopular opinion of my friend group of, like, their fries are terrible. I am not a fan of Wendy's fries. And, like, for me, Wendy's is in this weird situation of I dislike it because it's better than the other fast food burger places. Like, I don't dislike it, but, like, it's my least favorite because it's the best. Because it's not quite good enough to compete with, like, a less fast foody burger place. Like, if you were to go to an actual diner, if you were to go to a place that, like, does burgers, and that's their thing, is, like, they're more of a sit-down burger restaurant. Like, that's their deal. Like, Wendy's isn't quite at that tier. But if I want a fast food burger, I want it to be a fast food burger. I know that McDonald's and Burger King burgers are trash, but I want the trash. like you guys get me with that? Like, it's not a thing if I'm choosing what is objectively the best burger. It's like I have a craving to be very aware of how much grease I am eating. I will go to Burger King or McDonald's. Like, Wendy's doesn't have that. Wendy's is too good to be that. But when I'm in a mood for that kind of burger, I'm willing to go to, like, a place that's a little bit more high quality burger. Like, it's just something that I don't go to. Plus the fries. I don't like the fries. But it's a place I don't go to because I'm never in the mood for that. 99-cent Frosty. Had one when you went to Niagara Falls. Dairy Queen fries are better. Dairy Queen fries are good. I forget about Dairy Queen as a fast food restaurant, but Dairy Queen is good. Because you can get a Blizzard there. Those are always nice. I feel more guilty going to Wendy's than you do for other places. Granted, you haven't been there in like 5+ years. That's fair. It's been a while since I've had Wendy's as well. It's been like 3 or 4 years now. You get fast food if you have no other option. That's the best way to think about fast food. It's like, I need food now. There's no other food right now. Like, that's the best way to think about it, but for me, it's definitely come down to some days of, like, do I wait 5 minutes? And do I wait, like, 10 minutes for this thing to heat up? Or do I order fast food that'll be ready in, like, 5 minutes? And I'll do that, because I'm lazy. I'm impatient. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the Wendy's fries. Yo, Melina, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Cotton Candy Blizzard is the bomb. Never had one of those. I always get like the Reese's or the Butterfinger Blizzards. Those are my favorite. Alright guys, we're getting close to the end here. We're going to 7:50. I'm going to see if I can find another streamer's live. YouTube says Puffin's live, but I don't think... Oh, Puffin's live. We're going to raid Puffin, guys. I think. I'm going to open it up and see how long he's been going. Let's see. Looks like Puffin's still going strong. Looks like Puffin's still going strong. Oh yeah, I got quiet there, guys, just because I wanted to make sure, like, I wasn't about to raid, like, Puffin as he ended or something. But yeah, so we'll do 6 more encounters here, and then we'll head over and raid Puffin, assuming, like, when I refresh the page, he's still live. How do you feel about Waffle House? Waffle House is good when I want Waffle House. IHOP scammed you? $35 for toast? How much toast did you have? That's my question there. Forgot IHOP was a thing. IHOP's pretty good. I wouldn't compare like IHOP and Waffle House. They're like separate deals. Got burnt once on Wendy's because band trips you'd almost always stop at one. Oh, you got burnt out on Wendy's. That's fair. We would get Little Caesars Pizza and we would get Zaxby's a lot with high school stuff. Never burnt out on Zaxby's. Zaxby's is still good. It doesn't sit well with my stomach. Sometimes I put up with it because it's really good and I like that Zax sauce, but usually I'll just not. I was only doing 10 more encounters. Thank you for pointing that out, Mel. So we can try finding someone else. So I was going to see like if Puffin or Rainbow was live because they'd pop up for me. Do we have anyone else who is live? Puffin's the only one who shows up. Live. Okay, it looks like there's some hunting going on. Looks like we got some shiny hunting still going on. Might cook some lasagna. Well, I'm getting fancy over here. Look at me implying that lasagna is super fancy when it's lasagna. But I haven't cooked anything like that. Yo, are we getting raided again? Trip Mac, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders, to the stream. How are you guys doing today? Get raided indeed. Thank you for the raid, guys. Welcome all, welcome all. How are you guys doing? How was your stream? Another raid. Yeah, two in a day. Awesome. Hype. Raid hype. Thank you, Juan, for the hype emotes. 2 people raid. Hey, that's all good. A raid is always a raid, and it's always appreciated. You're like the only one to save from raid? I think so. But that's all good. I appreciate you sticking around, Mayu. I had a couple people watch this. I feel that, man. I feel that. No problem at all there. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. How was your stream, by the way? Let's see, there's this other guy. We're actually looking to continue this raid train here. Alright, I think we will go for this Amora hunt. It's AV5603. I just searched Shiny Hunt and checked and filtered for live, so we're going to go with him. It looks like he's still going. He's hunting for an Amora and Sword, so we'll do that one. Brian got joined, so that's all good, man. That's all good. Also got raids for a thing. Kinda same. But it is fun to do. They are a fun thing to do. Saying it's rude to raid then leave so you try to save the little thing. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you definitely don't have to, but I appreciate it. It's always fun talking to some new people. Very chill but weird at the same time. Fair. Same. Is someone raiding and watch their content? Hey, that's always good. That's what raids are about, though, right? Spreading the fun around. All right, so are we doing this raid? If you guys want to do the raid, put #mindlessraid in the chat, just so I can get an idea of if there's anyone who is interested in hitting it up. Just so I don't head over there all on my lonesome. Seems like a great community here. Well, thank you. I try to foster a good community here. And again, Trip Mac, thank you for the raid, dude. I really appreciate it. You were hunting a Sogalio. It was a blast. Awesome, dude. I haven't done any of the Dynamax stuff yet. Like, I did enough to get to this point, to do Calyrex and then to get these Golem hunts going. But I haven't done anything as far as actual like Dynamax shiny hunting. It looks really fun. I'm gonna have to try that out once we get this. Cracking on your PS5 all night? Alright, man. shit is really fun. Yeah, I think like I've got ideas for it. Some of the people I want to do it with also kind of have similar thoughts. Ian looking sus as always. But all right, guys, let's get hyped for the raid. It's our final encounter of the night, and then we're gonna be hitting up with the raid. So let's see if we can get the Reggie on the last encounter. Everyone's having a great night. Later. All right, see you later, Tripnack. I hope you have a good rest of your night. You can just play Among Us on stream. I do. I really do. I haven't played Among Us in like several weeks, and I'm kind of sad about that. All right, guys. Final encounter. Touches. Yep, that's my tell. It's been my tell the whole time. I'm acting sus. All right, guys. Looks like no shiny today, but we're gonna keep the shiny hunting fun going. We're gonna be raiding Davey 5603. He is hunting for an Amora and a sword. So we'll be back. Probably not tomorrow. Maybe this weekend. I'm not 100% sure. We'll be back very soon with some more shiny hunting here. But yeah, let's get this raid going, guys. Raid hype, guys. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who tuned into the stream. Thank you to everyone that liked all the new subs, both streamers who raided us tonight. And I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, take care.